Chapter 6. A Last Look at the World. This begins on page 30. Jonathan Death's face turned as ashen as the barrel of the pistol that was pressed to his head. Diggory's knees nearly buckled beneath him. Like everyone in Cornwall, Diggory had heard of the press gangs who were paid to kidnap boys and men and force them into the Navy. If only he could get to Jacka's knife or his slingshot. "Didn't I say today would be our lucky day, Cribs?" the man with the pistol crowed. "I will, that you did," the other snorted as he placed the cold blade of his dagger against Diggory's throat. "For it looks as if we snagged 2 recruits for the good ship Half Moon. Be a good lad now, and hand over that sack." Diggory froze. "Be quick about it," the man snapped. With a shaky hand, Diggory held out his sack. The man pulled out the flask and took a drink, but quickly spit it out. "Never could abide 6 water grog," he said, screwing up his face. "Not enough spirit in there to swear by." "What else has he got in there?" the other man demanded. "Just a piece of broken slate," his partner muttered. "And this?" he said, holding up the knife. His face broke into a grin. "With it we can buy us a proper jug of mahogany to drink to our good fortune." Gregory cringed at the stale stink of mahogany, the drink made from gin and treacle that was already on his captor's breath. "Aye, 'tis a lucky day indeed," the man with the pistol declared. "But give a listen. What's all that ticking about?" His grizzled cheek twitched as he leaned in closer to Jonathan Death. "'Tis the tick of time," the salesman answered, "and if you would but allow me to open my coat." "Open your coat, hey?" The thug narrowed his eyes. "I would fancy taking a squint inside, but no surprises, for my trigger finger is a powerful itch, it does." "Be no trouble to slice off the boy's nose if they did pull any tricks," Cribbs said matter-of-factly. Diggory winced as Cribbs brought the blade of the knife up just under his nose. It smelled of iron and blood. "No need for that. There'll be no tricks," Master Death assured them. He opened his coat slowly. "I only wish to show you my wares." "Lord's alive!" Crib cried. "Why, I never seen so many timepieces in all my living days." "It would be my pleasure to give you one in exchange for my freedom, and the boys as well," Master Death offered. Diggory gave him a grateful glance. Maybe there was a way out after all. "You'll not find a better timepiece in all of London, I promise you," Master Death continued smoothly. "I always did fancy me having a timepiece," the man with the pistol said. But Cribbs looked confused. "What are the £7 we was going to collect for bringing the 2 of them in? And the jug we was going to buy?" £7? His partner shot back. "What's that compared to the worth of all these?" He reached out to finger the watches greedily. Jonathan Death's eyes nervously followed the man's grubby fingers. "I offered 1, he reminded him. "And not a very generous offer now then, was it, my dear?" his captor snarled. "Nah, I think we'll have 'em all. And that way there's 1 for me, and 1 for my dear friend Master Cribbs here, and all the rest left over to sell and make a tidy sum." But that's robbery," Master Death stammered. "He's right, Will," Cribbs said, spitting into the ground. "Collecting bounty, that's legal, ain't it? But if we was to rob 'em and leave 'em, and they was to tell anyone, they wouldn't get us the gibbet chains, that's sure." "You're straw in your head for brains, man," his partner snapped. "And I always had a gift for solutions, and I always come up with the perfect solution for us now." "How you will?" Cribbs asked hopefully. "'Tis simple, really." He lowered his voice to a gangly whisper. "All we have to do is fix it so they never talk again." "But, how are we going to do that, Will?" "Why, we kill 'em, of course." Cribbs' face brightened on hearing this. "Oh, yeah, you do have a gift for solutions." Diggory felt his knees turn to jelly. "I pray you," Jonathan Death pleaded, his voice not nearly as smooth as before, "do not give in to this treachery you plan, for surely it's the devil's work." "Hold your greasy tongue, watchman, or I'll cut it out and fry it me for breakfast," the captor barked, poking Jonathan Death's head with the nose of his gun. And as for the devil, every man know he'll not show hisself in Cornwall for fear of being put into a pasty. He laughed loudly at the old joke. Hang on there, Will, Crib said, suddenly frowning. How will I be able to tell if my new timepiece is working if I cannot read it? I never did learn how to do sums. You've only to put it to your ear to hear it ticking. That's how it's supposed to work, you fool, his partner snapped. Crib smiled again. Lord love ye, Will. You think of everything you do. He turned to Diggory and pressed the dagger to his neck. Shall I slit his throat right here? He asked eagerly. Diggory took one last look at the world, shut his eyes tight, and prayed for it to be over quickly.